Hey there. So I just wanted to show you some things here, and this is purely for informational purposes only. You can do with it what you will, but I thought I'd just let you see like what's possible with a very simple and cheap, that being the key word here, lighting setup. I think the bulbs are maybe $7, $8, $9. The lights themselves are clamp lights from Walmart, which you can probably find for $2.98 or whatever in the hell. This is a typical setup that you would use for like an interview. This light that's over here in this direction is the key light, and that, of course, is what we use to fill your face and like the subject. And behind me over here, I'm going to swing around. That there is called a hair light or a backlight. And that obviously gives you this sort of thing going on here. And what that does is it separates you from a background. And mine being a black background, it needs some separation, okay? And it's unfortunate that, while I'm holding this camera, getting a shadow there, maybe that's probably better. But this is like your average interview setup. And with these lights, I don't know if you can see it, but in my eyes, there's like a little bit of a glint in my eyes. And that's caused by the key light. And there's one more light I'm going to show you. Excuse me. I'll walk over here. And this is called a fill light. And the fill light is just aimed up at the ceiling to bounce ambient light into the room so that you don't get like a really harsh sort of light. You just have something that just fills out the spaces. I'll explain more what it does here in a second. But this is the key light. And as you can see, all the lights are wrapped in foil. Now, normally I use a substance that's called black wrap, and that really cuts down a lot of the bouncing around of light, that the foil causes. Excuse me. But that stuff's pretty expensive, and you don't have to deal with that. This is fine for what it is that I think that you'd want to try and do. So what that fill light does is it takes away some of the harshness of the shadows. Shadows are still there, of course, from the key light. You can see my hand creates the shadows there. But what the fill does is it is bouncing around the room and takes away the harshness of the shadows, and also it makes them less dense. Shadows are still there, and they can still be dark or whatever, but they are less intense. And I think I'm going to show you an example of that. If I turn off the fill light, you can see like what happens immediately to the room. Oh, what happened to the lights? But now, as an example of what that fill light does, as you can see, I hope you remember what the other shadows looked like, but you can see that this shadow now is a lot more dense, a lot blacker. I mean, even this is actually not a bad lighting setup, if you ask me. It's very dramatic. But because of the nature of your work and what you do, you want to be seen, every little inch of you, as it were. So yeah, the fill light is actually kind of important. Let's turn that back on, and I'll go back over here. Let's see if you can see the difference there. I'm sure you can. I mean, it's it's much brighter, and it's a lot better looking shot. And the reason I'm like aiming the camera with like so much look space over here is because normally this is how you set up interviews, and I know that you're more of a straight on kind of functioning gal. So here's that view, and damn it, my arm holding the phone is causing way too many shadows for my liking. But I do have like a better camera to use, but I'm too lazy. I didn't want to drag it out and you know, do all the setup for that. Maybe I will later on, and I'll like snap some stills so you can see, you know, as opposed to this crappy phone video. But anyhow, I just wanted to share this with you, and like I said, do with it what you will. It's cheap. You don't have to have like a huge room in order to, you know, to use these lights. It's not a vast room. I'm guessing, I was trying to imagine like the size of your room and sort of tried to set it up accordingly so that you could actually, you know, functionally do this. Anyhow, that was it. Again, I want to thank you so much for your gifts, your physical gifts, and also your mental gifts. You are, you know, such a joy to hang around, and really enjoy our time in the room and with the other guys as well. Not really a jealous type at all. I enjoy their company as well. So anyhow, I'll sign off, and I hope you enjoy this video, and, you know, like I said, take from it what you will. Take care of yourself, love. Bye-bye. Mwah.